If you were to stay in Bedok from when you were born to what it is now, it has never changed much. The charm is just something new in an old place.
With its old-school vibes, Bedok is a place that marches to its own beat. Even as it rolls with the changes, residents showed us their neighborhood's hidden gems.
I grew up here 17 years ago. I started my business, my home-based barbering at the corridor, which is at level 3. How I set up my barber station was I put a long mirror here on top of a chair so that it's elevated, and I will put a folding chair in front of the mirror. So that's how I set up my somehow makeshift barber shop lah. And I continued this for about 4 to 6 months, and then I moved to that shop. I've been living in Bedok since I was a baby. I'm very proud to be in this area because it's my neighbourhood, and I felt like I want to make a difference in the neighbourhood that I grew in. To me, the difference is always the small little things, like children around this area. That is the most important, because if you want to grow a community or a neighbourhood, the children will be the future of the neighbourhood. Businesses like mine can somehow show that you still have hope. I've reached out a few young boys. They usually will hang around in this area till late night, like after past midnight. So I felt that it's not safe. So I would just reach out to them and tell them, you cannot hang around in this area at night, it's very unsafe. Like, you know, you want to hang out, okay, I can open my shop to you and just sit here rather than you just sit under the block. At least you're making noise in the shop, I can still contain you. But if you're making a lot of trouble outside, it's hard for me to help you if in case you did something wrong. At least I make a small gesture to protect them.
My name is Hafiz. My friends call me Bolo. I've been skating for more than 20 years, and Bedok is where I started skating, and this is the place. For all places in Singapore, right, Bedok has the most skate parks. But I think there was like 4 or 5 skate parks in Bedok, but not anymore now because there's a big skate park in East Coast, right? This area is we call it the Bedok Adventure Park. It's a bigger skate park in Bedok, but now it's become like this. So everyone will come here to like skate, BMX, rollerblade. It was like East Coast here. Like.
And so now we are only left with one skate park here.
One skate park. We are here at Bedok Reservoir, and this is the only skate park left in Bedok. Other than skate parks, the reason why I wanted to be in Bedok or skate in Bedok, mostly is because of friends.
Wow!
Basically, we're the Bedok Boys.
Bedok Boys, yes.
Yeah, we are known as the Bedok Boys.
So it all started at Feng Shui CC. We used to meet up with the boys at 12 p.m. So every day there will be like 15 to 20 people over there. So it becomes a habit.
Even though we've moved out, we've lived in different places now, and we don't see each other quite often. But it's the friendship, and
when we meet, it'll be something special.
yeah.
We share more than just a typical skateboarding bond. Like, we share differences that, you know, gather us together to, you know, commit to different activities together, share experiences, and then grow up together.
this whole stretch of Upper East Coast Road that goes all the way to the start of Bedok Road used to be really famous, you know, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, up to the early 90s, for having these like very special seafood restaurants that were housed in these really old bungalows that at one point was literally on the shoreline. So those made way over time when they were developing the area, and I think that's been replaced by some condominiums. But this one still holds its ground. I don't know for what reasons, you know, it's really hard to get in touch with the owners. I think KUEH makes Bedok special because it's keeping that heritage alive. It's a place that's stuck in time amid like rapid urbanization in the whole of Bedok area. When I was like in my teens and being in this area, we came to this HDB to eat, and then suddenly somebody said, "Hey, do you want to see a cemetery?" So I'm like, "What?" We walked down over here and boom, there was like a Boyanese cemetery.
Oh, it's just tucked in between.
It's tucked in between like this block of HDB flats and Lucky Heights, which is just over there. The Boyanese cemetery, so I learned later on, they're off the coast of Java, I believe, and they came here in the early 1800s when the British came here, along with the Javanese and the Bugis people. And it's pretty neat to have this little bit of green that also has a little bit of history and heritage to it. Definitely one of the secret hidden spots in Bedok, and especially a spot that's really just stuck in time, and one of the few remaining markers of Singapore's history. And you'll find a lot of spots like this stuck in time peppered around Bedok South, like from old kampong structures and old bungalow mansions that are still around today.
This place used to be part of a hill in this area, and also part of a catchment area right behind the barrage of Bedok Reservoir.
And how did it eventually develop into this reservoir?
When sand was in great demand, you know, by the HDB began a big process of digging sand. They pump water into the hills around this area, and then using the water to wash away the silt and then collect the sand. Back then it was very small. And then after mining the sand, the reservoir was expanded to such a big place. This area was infamous for the Japanese massacre. When the Japanese were doing this SOOK, CHING, so they got hold of these young people and then massacred them in this area. Each Japanese officer will choose a site to massacre these so-called troublemakers from here right until today Temasek Junior College. Bedok was a part of ourselves. The place where we stayed, we were raised up. Right, we lived off the land in those days. Back then, we moved along muddy tracks, so either walk or bicycle. And then whatever we did was hard manual labor. Like for example, a car got caught in the rut, we would use our hands and legs, whatever, to bring the car out of the rut.
The business started in the 60s. Back then it was a kampong kitchen by my grandfather and my mum. So over the years from 60s onwards, come to year 1979, the whole kampong was evicted and we were being offered a place here.
以前啊，这边根本没什么人的， 没说，所以我们只做了批发，外面给人家卖。呀，他慢慢做，慢慢做，做久了变成自己有一点门市。
之前来的时候像现在我们的邻居几乎都换了，只有我们这个开始到现在还在行。
Me and my sisters basically grew up with this business. We played here, we helped out here, being a nuisance here. What prompted me to take over is that if I don't take over, my parents will sell the business off to someone else. Now, whether or not the person will be committed to maintain the quality of the kueh, there's no guarantee. And also because that I grew up with this business, the life experience, the life lessons I learned helping out, you can't find it by working outside. So I was hoping that my kid will have a chance to experience what we've gone through before. Have the fun, have the frustration, all the emotions attached to helping out in business. We are now at the central kitchen. We moved our production from the old shop over here, and now most of things are being made here. So we are cooking kueh lapis right now. So when it's done, we'll take out and let it cool.
Are you steaming it layer by layer, like each color is on one tray?
Yeah. The whole process takes about 100 minutes.
Is that right? Yeah. Okay. How would you rate my work, 1 to 10?
8.5.
8.5. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Since 1979, we are still in this same location. We grew close to our neighbours. Even when they move to other towns, other parts of Singapore, they still come back here on the weekends to buy from us. We are close to this neighbourhood. We grew up together with this. So that's why we decided we will still stay here.
People in the East like to say that we're different from the rest of the Singaporeans because we're a little bit more laid back. You know, we've got the sea breeze and we live near the like shoreline and everything. One of the things that really any proud Eastie will tell you about, it really is the food. We insist that the East is the best place to get food in Singapore, from Kallang to Geylang, you know, to Katong, to Joo Chiat, and now, you know, also in Bedok. It's a very big, rich food culture. And so I think that's very special for us. It really is like Singapore's melting pot of cultures. You know, you've got a strong Peranakan culture, you have a strong Malay culture, you've got a strong Chinese food culture here, especially, you know, and so you see it all here in the East.
Do you think I could try out your skateboard?
Oh yes, of course, but do you know your stance?
I think it's my left foot forward first.
Put your left leg first.
Okay, straight ahead.
Straight, yeah. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Yes, yes.
Oh no!